I think we're live right now. It's Briamaine back with another Nomad Chats, and I have Miss Aaliyah here with me today. And I'm so excited because she has a really great perspective about moving to Thailand, and I want her to give a brief introduction. So tell us your name, age, and where you're from.
My name is Aaliyah. Some of you may know me as Miss Aaliyah Marie. I'm 28 and I am from Chicago, Illinois.
Okay. And where did you live before moving abroad? Obviously, you say you're from Chicago, Illinois, but did you live in any other states in the US or did you travel any other places?
So I've traveled to other places like quite often, but like lived. No,
Mhm.
Chicago, born and raised. Um, before moving to Thailand, I actually moved to Maryland for like 3. So that didn't
How
last.
did you like it in Maryland? You went right back to Chicago after 3 months?
Yes, after 3 months. But I loved it in Maryland. I moved out there originally for a job. I love the seafood out there, and I just love that you get to be like DMV area, so you get like the best of both worlds. So you have DC, and then you have Baltimore. Obviously, you have Virginia too, but like
Mhm.
between DC and Baltimore, like that's for me.
Yeah, it's such a different vibe, especially from the Midwest. Do you like Maryland more, like living wise, than you like Chicago, or you're a Chicago girly?
I'm a Chicago girly through and through.
Okay.
If anything outside of Chicago, my top place like in the states would be New York City.
Okay. So you're really like a city girl, like you like the fast pace like vibe.
Yes, for sure. 110%. I think that's why I decided on Bangkok. Like, I need to be in a city. I need metro. I need tall towers, skyscrapers, fast life, like public transportation. I need traffic. Like, I need it all.
So would you say living in Thailand is kind of similar to living in Chicago with like the fast pace and the transportation, all of that? What would you say is like the big difference then?
I would say specifically living in Bangkok because, like, when I'm in like Phuket or Pattaya,
Slower, yeah.
have the beaches, you have the islands that you can kind of go to. But like with Bangkok, 110%, I feel like it's very similar to New York. If anything, I feel like Bangkok is a way more congested and a
Yeah.
fast paced than
Or more
Chicago.
pollution. A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question I have for you is what really initially inspired you to move abroad? You're a Chicago girly, you love the city life. Why choose Bangkok?
So honestly, it didn't start off as a move, and I always tell people that like my introduction to Thailand happened in 2023 summer. I was on a group trip with like a couple friends and I was in Phuket and I felt so free and at peace. And I like, that was my first time running a motorbike and just like driving around on my own. And like my hair was just like flowing through the wind. It's just like, it just brought me like this a peace that I had
Yeah.
never before. And I was in a really tough space because I was working a 9 to 5 in the midst of trying to be promoted and like my work life was hectic. There was no social life like at all. No work life balance, no work life harmony, nothing. It was just work, 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 work. So when
And
I
is this the HR job that you were doing in
yeah,
Chicago? Okay, okay.
yeah, so my profession before I came to Thailand, I was a human resource business partner. So like
Mhm.
it was a lot. Like in HR, you have to wear many hats and you wear a lot and like you take a lot home with you and then it's no time to like rest and recover.
Mhm.
So when I came to Thailand with my friends, I just wanted to just relax, sabai. And
Yeah.
that's like the first vacation where I ever felt that like sense of peace. So when I returned home, it was just like, I need that again.
Back to the chaos again.
Back
Yeah.
to chaos, like I need that again. I felt so rejuvenated, like coming back, but it was just like, that was such a temporary feeling. I need that more long term, and that's when like I moved to Maryland. I got a promotion, and then shortly
Mhm.
after being promoted, I was let go. So it was just like, WTF? What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
But I knew I was in like a really tough spot, and like I needed to get back. Yeah, I had lost my identity. I didn't know who the hell I was. Like my personality was my career. So like,
Mhm. Okay.
yeah, I was in a really
Yeah.
spot. So I told myself like, okay, I just need to have some time for me, and that's why I came to Thailand. on a sabbatical. I was not supposed to move here. It was only supposed
Yeah.
to be a 6 month sabbatical. My visa was for 6 months. I loved it so much. I decided to stay.
That's awesome. So I think a lot of people can relate to that as far as like kind of losing yourself a little bit and not really knowing what your identity is outside of work. I can even relate to that because when I was in the States, I was doing data analytics for a long time. I worked with the same company for like 10 years. I did move to like different departments, but like when I stopped doing that job, I literally was like, so what do I do now?
Mm.
Like I was like, so what? Who is Bria-maine? You know, so I can relate to that for sure. And you saying that you came here on like vacation and then deciding that you wanted to stay here, I can also kind of relate to that. I didn't necessarily think of it as like a sabbatical. It was more as like, okay, this is gonna be a 6 month time period for me to determine if I could survive living here or if I even want to. And then after that, I went back home, and then I was like, yeah, I want to come back. So yeah,
That flight home is just like,
it's
it,
long.
it's horrible. And it doesn't hit you for until you're actually sitting back at home. Like, life is so much simpler back in Thailand.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I truly believe that every country has its pros and cons, and it would be silly for me to tell everybody that they should move to Thailand because I really don't think everybody would be best to live in Thailand. But I think like just the aspect of considering like living abroad or finding another place that kind of like suits your needs, I think that is amazing. And maybe that'll go into our next question, like what were the things that you were like, okay, if I'm gonna move abroad, like I have to have this, I have to have that. Like if you're gonna leave your whole country, like what were your non-negotiables in choosing your condo, choosing where you live? Let's talk about that a little bit.
You want to know what's crazy? I honestly feel like there was, outside of me wanting to like live in the city, there were very few things on my list where I felt like it was a non-negotiable, right? Like I felt like, again, I had lost so much of myself. I was trying to strip myself of the current person that I was. It was
Okay.
like, I want to let go and let God, like let God lead the way. Like I came out here with very few things. Like my luggage, like I didn't even have many clothes. Like my wardrobe,
How many suitcases did you have though? For real?
only two, only by two.
Okay, two. Two is okay. After two, I start looking like,
Mm.
like what are you bringing?
I only had my two, and not only that, I was also packing for my dog. So like I brought his stuff over.
Hmm.
Like for the most part, like it was just like essential items that I brought with me. But again, I was trying to literally strip myself of like, I don't even want to say strip, but shed that old like layer
Yeah.
in from me, and just like I wanted a fresh start. I wanted a fresh start. So there was nothing that I felt just like I couldn't live without. But
Mhm.
once I got here, it was just like a few of our black girl products that like I needed, but
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
that,
You're better
I was
off bringing them with you, or at least having a small supply so that you can order them and wait for the rest to come in. One of the other guys I interviewed, Shakul, he was asking me. He was like, "How do you get like hair products?" And I'm like, "You can still get them. It just takes like longer because you have to order them, right?"
yeah, it takes
Yeah,
longer and a bit more expensive because it's
more
being
expensive. Yeah.
out.
So do you think that like you prepared more for yourself or for your dog with moving to Thailand? Because I feel like bringing a pet over is a huge deal. It's the reason why I haven't brought my pet Toffee. She's the love of my life. I had her since I was 20 years old. But I was like, no, I'm too scared to put her on a plane. Like, or what if they separate her from me? So like, can you talk more about the experience with bringing your fur baby across the world?
Bringing up, honestly, it was a hard decision, but I didn't have anyone back at home to like
Mm.
leave him with. So I
Yeah.
was already to like my apartment. I'm like, okay, I can't leave my dog too. Um,
Yeah.
so I was like, I'll just go ahead and bring him. And I do not regret that decision at all. I think preparing and trying to get the dog over it was way more difficult than like yourself. Because with us being from America, even if
Mhm.
you don't have an idea of what visa you want, you can always do visa on arrival, right? We're fortunate
Yeah.
that Thailand allows that for us, right? So
Mhm.
for him, you have to prepare and plan a bit more. I only had my one way ticket and like a week Airbnb.
No visa on arrival for dogs.
So
No.
no on arrival for dogs. They have
Okay.
to have like a health certificate. It has to be endorsed USDA. If you don't have like that paperwork, they're shipping you right back or like not allowing your dog in. He has to have like all of his vaccinations. It's a lengthy process, but I will say it's if you're doing right by your pet and he's like he or she they're up to date on all of their documentations and like vaccination, you can get the process going pretty smoothly.
Okay. Well, other than obviously being able to have your pet with you, were
Mhm.
there certain things about your condo where you chose to live that you just absolutely needed? Because everyone who watches content on Thailand pretty much knows that like you're gonna be in a smaller space, you know?
Yeah.
But I've seen so many different unique like condos with like all the people in the tribe and stuff. So I'm like, was there something about your condo that just like made you choose it or something that you specifically needed to have?
Honestly, I wish I could say yes. When I decided on my condo, like I just feel like it was very fitting. It was like really girly and it was just like the perfect place for me. But that wasn't the mindset I was going in. I wanted to like rent out a place that was pet friendly. That's all I needed. Like
Right.
I didn't care how it looked. I also wanted it to be close to where I'm currently working. So,
Mhm.
but outside of that, nothing. Like I didn't have this like laundry, which is a surprise because I feel like people think like, uh, she a little bougie. She want this and that. Like I promise you, I just wanted a roof over my head and I wanted to be
Yeah.
feel safe, and I got both of those things, and then on
And
top.
in a nice area and a nice condo. Like I
Mm,
think in America it's a little harder to understand that because it's like you could end up like in the not so good area. You know what I'm saying? Like even for something that you consider nice, like you could end up somewhere where it's not as safe. But I'm
yeah,
like, for the most part in Thailand, like especially in Bangkok at least, like if you're living in a high rise condo, like you're good. Like they probably got security, they probably have everything you need. So I can kind of understand you saying like as long as like my pet was welcome, like whatever you're gonna kind of make it work.
ooh,
Oh,
I'm
you looking at the
sorry.
comments?
He talking and the monster. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Let me see. Hold on. In my comments, what I can see right now, this is actually a perfect time to go check because I'm like, we just running our mouth. I didn't even look at the comments yet.
I am dead. It's so funny. So this is my first time actually being on like a live.
Hmm.
So
Oh
that
yeah, let's talk about that. So you guys, Aaliyah, she has a YouTube channel, and y'all should go follow her and support her channel. Can you shout out your channel name?
yes, Miss Aaliyah Marie, just Miss Aaliyah Marie.
And
Mm.
I'm gonna put it in the description of the video as well, so you guys can show some love over there. But from the chat, I see we got who? We got Dracar Covington. What's up? We got Chosen Ready Made. Be back, love. Well, hurry back because we got a few more questions to get through with Miss Aaliyah. And then I see we have F34R. I don't know if that means fear or not.
I think that's fair.
Fear, okay. It says all that makeup, shawty, probably hiding a monster. That's
It is.
very
It's
rude.
it's
That's very rude.
I feel like I'm that type of person. Like I can take it. I can take.
You
I
can take it, but on this channel, one thing I don't do is rude and disrespectful. So you can go though. Ural says, "Thank you, ladies. Thanks for tuning in." So I'm gonna get into the next question because we got a few more to go. I have some more questions for you. Let me see. I need to put my goose glasses on.
yeah. Where are your glasses?
I need to put them on. What did your career look like pre moving abroad and now? So I know you talked a little bit about you used to work in HR and now you're teaching in Thailand, right?
Yes. So
How was that transition?
definitely like day and night. So obviously working in HR, I worked with adults. Right now, I'm
Mhm.
working with babies. So that in itself is just like a new level of patience. So
Would you, okay, let's just get right down to it. Do you prefer working with adults or babies?
I don't prefer work.
Okay, there we go.
Like
Right answer. Right answer. Me
it's
too.
the
I was like,
truth.
if I
Like
can avoid it.
I promise you, because like working with adults is just like though I was working with like senior level, right? Like these are my peers, headache, right?
Yeah.
And working with children, headache. But I
Yeah.
will say with the children, they are like the sweetest kids ever. I think it's just me, just
Do you
not.
feel like it's more like fulfilling working with kids because I've kind of had this feeling myself. I used to do data analytics. So when I started teaching, even though I was making less money, even though I still kind of got irritated with my coworkers and dealing with the kids sometimes, like when I went home, I kind of felt like, well, I'm doing something positive, like for the community, like I'm helping the kids, you know?
Yeah,
But when I was working like corporate, I didn't really feel like there was much value in my work. Like I feel like I was always just getting dumped more work on. It was like never enough. But with the kids, I kind of at some point, I don't know if it's like a runner's high type thing. At some point, I kind of felt like this is enough. Like what I'm doing is like giving back. You know?
it's crazy that you say that. I don't feel like that working with the children at all. I feel like I felt like that a little bit more when I was in HR because I felt like
Mm.
there needs to be more colored people at the table, right? So
Okay.
that was my thing. Growing up, I grew up in a household where my dad was on the street
Mhm.
and my mom was a cashier. So I grew up low income poverty, right? And I always just used to see my mom extremely burnt out, like these low paying jobs, trying to make a way for her two children. And it was just,
Mhm.
I remember she worked at a university in Chicago and it's an Ivy League, right? And I remember
Mhm.
her saying that, like, because she worked in the cafeteria, they used to always joke and say, "Oh, you know, where the students would call it the plantain." Am I saying that right?
The plantain.
Plantains. Wait,
Plantains.
no.
What you try? Hold on. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Like
Why is it not coming out right?
the plantains. I'm hungry. You hungry? Probably. We both hungry.
OMG, that is just hilarious.
It's
What is it
10:24
called?
over here. We might be hungry.
I am hungry.
Hmm. But continue about your parents and how you saw them coming up working. You felt
Right?
like you needed to have a seat at the table for yourself, right?
Yes. So anyway, they used to always just like a lot of black workers working in the area. So I knew for a fact, like when I grew up, I just wanted to have like a seat at the table and I wanted to be in leadership and I wanted to make sure that it was like an inclusive environment. I wanted to make all people feel welcome.
Hmm.
But yeah, that was that. So
So, do you feel like with the kids, like you don't really feel like you're giving as much back as you were when you were working at HR?
yeah, no. I feel like with the children,
Or like your potential isn't being maximized, kind of?
I definitely feel like my potential isn't being maximized in both industries, but I feel like with the children here, they're like just showered with love. I think if I worked at like a different type of school,
Oh,
maybe,
okay.
but I work at a private school and these children are rich and they're like parents are
Yeah.
love and gifts and like they're super spoiled. So
Hmm.
yeah, I truly just don't feel that way.
That makes a lot of sense too because I'm not working in a school right now. But when I was working, when I first started working in Thailand, I was working all the way in Isan province, and these kids like they didn't even have air conditioning in their classrooms. Like their books were old, the desks, everything was just like outdated, and you could just tell that there was a kind of like a need
Hmm.
for like somebody to come in who really was passionate about teaching the kids. So maybe I felt more like, oh wow, I'm actually kind of doing something to give back versus like, okay, well, if you're just in a private school and you don't really feel like you're challenged like that, and maybe your previous job was more of something that you were doing something for your community in a way of like sitting at that table that maybe your parents weren't able to do, like that's really admirable. Like honestly,
I
I
also
think
have to
all
say,
these people,
can I say this? I meant
yeah.
plantation. Why did I say plantain? Plantain.
That's what I thought you meant. I thought you meant plantation. I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. But I think you're just maybe hungry. Like we're both hungry for lunch or something.
It's
Like
early
I don't
here.
know about you. I didn't eat much before this live stream.
I had a protein shake. That's it.
Yeah, I had some tea. Yeah, I just had some tea.
Hmm.
But yeah, after this, I'm gonna eat. All right, girl. Let's get through it though. So the next question I have for you is, what does a great day look like for you now that you live abroad? Like just an average, regular, just amazing day. You can go to bed and just feel like, wow, that was a great day in Thailand. What does that look like for you?
I would say a great day for me is having the freedom to wake up at any time that I please, right? No obligations, no commitments, and maybe going to the gym again when I decide I want to go to the
Mhm.
gym and going to the spa shortly after,
Mhm.
walking around, maybe the mall or I honestly, I just feel like a day of luxury looks like just freedom for me. Me
Yeah.
being able to do whatever I please and not really having like these strict time constraints.
Yeah.
So,
Which I think living out west, you have more time constraints because of the type of work.
of course,
Okay. So here you feel like a little more like freedom with your time to actually do the things that like make you happy.
a little bit more now than before, of course. But honestly, I still feel like with me working and being a teacher out here, I feel like I don't have as much freedom as I would like.
Yeah. And that's important to say because there's so many people and especially women who are considering like moving to Thailand to teach English, and I think it's important for them to know that like even though you're living abroad, you're still working like a 9 to 5 job. So there's still expectations that they have of you, and it's very limited time that you have off, so it's something to keep in mind. And again, like I said before, it's not for everybody, but for people who can enjoy that type of lifestyle, I think it's like good information to put out there. But how often do you get to like take time for yourself other than like weekends, like vacation, like go on a trip or like do something? Like how often would you say you get to do that being a teacher?
Not often. Now I'm back in like now that I have like my visa situated, I think I'm in a space where it's like, okay,
Mhm.
I definitely love Thailand, but now it's time to experience outskirts and like the nearby countries. And I told my job like, okay, maybe on my weekends I might take a extended weekend and like maybe
Yeah.
that Monday or Friday off, so I can travel.
And what visa are you on?
So right now I'm on the non-B, but for a very I was on tourist for like my first 9 months. I was on tourist.
So when you're on the non-B visa, are you able to travel? Because from my experience last year, I got the non-B visa, but I needed to go home to the States, and they told me that the visa would be canceled if I left the country.
No, no, no. You're able to travel. You just have to inform immigration of your travel plans and
Mm-hmm.
pay like 1,900 baht for re-entry. No
Mm,
one
okay, okay.
have single or multi. So yeah, you're able to travel on the non.
Yeah, got it. Okay. I think in my situation, it was probably like they were like, "Well, you're not coming back for until your visa ends, so we're just gonna cancel it, maybe." And I was like, "Oh, dang."
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, it's really important to know what visa that you're coming in on. Of course, you can get the visa on arrival, which is tourist, but there's a lot of other visa options you can choose. And like Miss Aaliyah, she has the non-B visa, which correct me if I'm wrong, it's like the working visa, right?
Correct.
The working visa. Okay. So, what changes have you made personally since moving abroad? So, the Aaliyah that was in Chicago, a regular day in her life, versus the Aaliyah in Bangkok and a regular day in her life. What would you say are some of the big changes you've made?
I would say just the ability to let go. I feel like I would always be attached to everything, and not necessarily with just like people, but just like attached to like a certain version of myself. Or like if I told myself, okay, oh, when I grow up, I want to be a nurse. Like even if I felt deep down in my soul like that was no fitting for me, it's just like I'm
Mhm.
attached to what I have already spoken over my life. So I just always like I would be afraid to let go and evolve. And I think right now in Thailand, I'm so open to change and I'm like letting go of that like sense of control and just letting God just guide me along the way.
Okay. I understand that completely because like coming to Thailand, like you may think that you can hold on to like the old version of who you were or what you used to do, but there's gonna be a lot of changes, like whether you like it or not. It's like growing pains, you know? So that kind of fear of like evolving, kind of being comfortable in who you were and identifying with that, like sometimes you have to let that go. Like if you like you said, if you thought you were a nurse and then you felt called to do something else, like are you gonna feel ashamed of that, or do you feel like it's wrong, or are you not going to follow like what you're called to do because of an old version of yourself that you manifested, so I think it's very important for us to be flexible, be like ever evolving and changing, because today you could be like, I want to be a vegan, and tomorrow you'll be like, I'm just going to eat a whole protein meat diet.
And it's okay.
Like, and it's okay. Yeah, it's
Okay.
okay. It's okay to switch it up. That's part of living. Like I was talking to some of the other tribe women, who are a little bit older, and I was asking them, I was like, "Do you think that people get stuck in their age at a certain age? Like, people say that you get stuck in your ways at
Yeah.
a certain age." And I was asking her that because I really felt like no matter how old you are, like we're constantly evolving. We're like constantly changing. Like you don't just stop at one point in your life and you're just like, this is the Aaliyah you're gonna be for the rest of your life. Like you're
Yeah.
gonna constantly be changing. Like, what do you think about that?
I agree, and I think it's one of those things where you have old people or new people, they'll box you in, and put place their projections like on you. And I hate when people say, "Oh, you changed," as if that's a bad thing. Like
Yeah.
we should always be constantly evolving. Like, and then outside of that, like, I feel like with age, it's because me and my friend actually talked about this last night. Like I said this, like I'm 28 and I don't feel like I act like a 28-year-old. But hell, how's a 28-year-old supposed to act? This is my first time being
Exactly.
28. I don't know. Right.
Right.
So like I think it's just being like extending yourself grace and
Mm-hmm.
like just really under like, hey, you only get one life. There's really no
Mm-hmm.
blueprint to live life. Just allow life to take its course, learn from different things, and just try
Mm-hmm.
to continue to evolve and just don't I think once you become complacent, that's when you're like in a scary place.
Yeah. Embrace change. That's what I think. Embrace it because if you're changing, that means you're like onto a new chapter, like another level up or something. I know for me, like I get really, like I can get like depressed or anxiety if I'm like not changing. So like
Yeah.
if I've been in the same environment doing the same thing, having the same routine for like 4 or 5 months, I start to get like I don't know. I kind of like close into myself because I start thinking like there's more to you. There's more you're supposed to be doing. There's more you're supposed to be learning,
Yeah.
experiencing. Like don't get so comfortable that like you just do the same thing all the time. So yeah, embrace change. I think that's a really good
I
topic.
I know we have to change questions, but I think it's so crazy that you say that because I feel like I have always been like the complete opposite to where it's like I used to fear change. Like again, I wanted
Hmm.
to be just like in control to the point where I feel like I let some bomb opportunities pass by and for so long again just being held a prisoner to ass and just feeling trapped because I was just so afraid to change. So yeah.
It's that control, like if we try to control everything in life, we end up missing out on some of those opportunities that like we had to be more flexible about, like even me like having this idea of like I'm gonna come to Bangkok and it's gonna look like this and I'm gonna live here and I'm gonna do that. It's like you have to be flexible to the fact that like it may not go the exact way that you think is gonna go. And I guess that's that letting go, letting God part. It's like I have an idea of what I want my life to look like, but I'm open to the fact that it may not look exactly like that. Like maybe a little similar or maybe some new things that like I never even thought would happen, like opportunities that come to you that you're like, wow, I didn't think I would go down this path, but if I wasn't flexible and open to change, I probably would have just missed that opportunity completely.
Absolutely. What's for you will always be for
For sure, for sure. I agree with that because it's hard nowadays watching people on social media, watching everybody else's journeys, and then thinking like, wow, why doesn't my life look like that? Or why aren't I doing that and I'm the same age or something? But I'm really big on what's for you is for you. Like your story is so unique, it's so genuine and just perfect for you that you have to embrace that difference, and not try and look like everybody else's story because it could never
you.
look like anybody else's story. So let me check the chat real quick. Let me see. Man vs Hulk says Man versus Hulk. Girl, you're gonna see. I am the worst with these names. Everything like I'll be tearing
But
them up.
when you read the comments, you can't just read it in Bria tone. Like you need some more animation. Like you got he said, I would never put a as an HR representative. Like who asked
Really?
you?
All right. Well, are you? Hopefully, he's a manager or somebody in a position to put somebody in power.
Well, hopefully he's not because like
That's like, why do you even have this position?
diversity. Like that would be fucked up. I'm sorry, you two.
No, I agree 100%. I'm like, no, he shouldn't be in that position. But even in my head, the way I think, I'm like, I mean, I'm not a manager, so I wouldn't even be thinking like that. But
Whatever.
Baser's Brink says that dress fly as fuck, Bree.
Yeah, ask him that dress fly as fuck, Bria.
It's actually it's like a kimono robe.
I like it. Where did you get it?
You. I got it in Phuket actually for New Year.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got it in Phuket, and I've been holding on to it. I just wear this like when I get out of the shower, like if I'm just chilling in the house or something like that. I didn't feel like getting dressed today, y'all. I'm sorry,
I'm
but
going.
yeah, you look wonderful. You look wonderful. You look great.
Oh, thank you.
I should have put myself together a little more.
You know,
Al Alhamdulillah twice says, "How are you guys?" I'm doing well. How are you, Miss Aaliyah?
I am feeling fantastic.
I'm just glad to be here doing this live stream. Just so you guys know, this is March 1st for us here in Bangkok, but it is still February 28th for our family and friends back home in the States. And me personally, I wanted to do one last live stream before the end of Black History Month. So, Aaliyah, you actually are joining me for my last Black History Month live stream because I was going hard and then I fell off for like a week.
Oh, it's
And I
okay.
came back.
Extend yourself grace, girl. You've been going hard.
Yeah, just yeah, I need some balance. I need some yin and yang in my life for sure. But thank you for joining me on this last Black History Month live stream.
They said we're time traveling. Yes.
Literally, like we're in 2 different days right now. Okay, so I have 12 questions for you, but I think we got through half of them. So let's knock out this other half. What? Oh no, we did that one already. Number 8, if interested, can you tell us a little bit more about your dating life?
Sip Steve. No, I'm just
What everybody wants to know, they've been waiting this whole time to hear about.
hilarious. I feel like dating, my dating life personally, or just dating in Thailand.
Your dating life, personally living in Thailand.
I feel like it's just like so funny, but I also think like take everything as a joke. Like I'm very unserious. And I feel like
Mhm.
that's what my dating life is right now. I feel like I'm not currently dating with intention because right now I feel like I'm in such a like me season and I want to like maximize this single season. And I feel like I know what type of husband I want and I know what type of woman should be on his shoulders. So
Mhm.
like until I'm at that point, um, I'm really not open to anything serious. So for me, I just, very much casual, go on dates, have a good time.
Mhm.
Nothing much.
So, do you think that um, you could find that person for you here in Thailand, or do you think that you would have to do a little bit more traveling, or just bump into them? I guess because who knows? You never know.
I honestly don't know. I don't know. Because I feel like right now you have it on YouTube where, or just it's on social media in general where I feel like there's a lot of passport bro content, but I feel like they also like I feel like more women need to step up and just be open about, their lives because I feel like I've met a lot of women who have had great experiences and
Mhm.
then also there are so many people constantly like moving to Thailand or like traveling to Thailand for extended periods of times where you could meet the love of your life. Like,
Yeah, it's a lot of tourists. It's a lot of foreigners. Like,
yeah. Like
okay, so what about before you came to Thailand? Do you feel like you were more interested in dating before, like in the States, and then now that you're here, you kind of chilled out on it a little bit,
I feel
or reverse? Like,
back in the States I felt pressured and I feel like desperation leads to disobedience. And I don't say label myself as being desperate, but I say that in a sense of like I felt like, okay, Aaliyah, you're almost 30, you have no children, unmarried, like
hmm
right? It's like that pressure that society kind of like puts on you.
yeah,
Always would linger in the back of my mind. Like for me, when I was dating, it's just like, okay, he got a good job, check. Okay, don't really like him that much, but maybe I can mold him to the man I want to be in, which
yeah,
in itself is just like another sense of trying to control someone because you can't mold people to who you want them
yeah.
to.
You have to just accept what they are.
Exactly. So like I feel like when I was dating not the proper way. Like I don't know where the hell I learned that. So I think while I'm in Thailand, I just want to sit back, learn myself, learn to how to properly court, and yeah, just give
Mhm.
myself some time before I jump into anything serious.
Like a little practice. It's like, oh, go on a few days, kind of get your feet wet a little
Yeah,
bit with it before you
learn,
jump all the way into it
learn
again.
what I like,
Yeah.
right? I feel like I was just back at home. I didn't like how I was dating. Yeah,
Okay.
not the best.
Well, power to you because I feel like more women should be kind of sharing their experience about dating abroad. I feel like a lot of times people want to have like these like awesome stories and like sometimes it's not that. Sometimes
It's,
it's just like, oh, we went on a date at dinner and it was cool and we text every now and
and that's okay.
then. That's okay. Yes.
That's gonna be like the the like my buzzword.
Of
Okay,
the year, yeah, like it's okay.
it's okay.
Yeah, that's just fine. And it's beautiful too. I'm like, a lot of times when I was in the States, I felt like, oh, if you go on a date, like there might be pressure to like be more intimate with this person or something like that. And here, like, honestly, me personally, I haven't really experienced that. It's kind of been like, oh, you can't just go to the movies and then be like, okay, bye, see you next time. Like,
Or
and
not.
then, or not, yeah. And then just go home and be like, oh, that was nice. That
Yeah,
was a nice experience.
I agree.
Like, and leave it at that.
Hmm.
Yeah. What is the chat saying?
Nothing.
Nothing. Roger Rod joined. Thanks for joining. Says cool. You're time traveling for sure. We are in Black History Month and we're in the first day of March at the same
Hmm.
time. Okay, next question is: do you see yourself moving back to your home country, Chicago, or why not?
So I would say I can. I do see myself moving back to the states.
Hmm.
Uh, Not necessarily Chicago because I feel like been there, done that.
Hmm.
But I will say I feel like the opportunities that I have in mind, like for the future,
Hmm.
like a lot of them require me to be in America and connect
Hmm.
in America. So for the time being, I like I'm here in Thailand, but I do see myself moving back.
I'm so glad you said that because I thought I was alone in that mindset, or it's just something that people don't really want to talk about. um for my future and like the lifestyle that I see myself having, it's gonna take me to go back to America and stack some money. Like it just is. I mean, I love it in Thailand. I love the lifestyle. I love how slow and chill it is. Like, but realistically, like if you're trying to like stack money or make money to grow a business or to do anything, really, honestly, other than just like live this life, like you probably have to go somewhere else to make money. And like, I know a lot of people don't want to talk about that because nowadays you can make money online. You know, like a lot of people can be here and have this lifestyle and be like, oh, I'm still getting USD because I'm making money online. But I'm like, that's really not the case for most people. So if you don't come here with a substantial savings, like if you plan on doing any type of business moves and stuff, like it might benefit you to go back to the West. So I appreciate you even just being honest and saying that because it's been something I've been scared to say personally because they're like, you move to Thailand. You telling everybody to move to Thailand. And then it's like, but I might move back though at some point.
Yeah, and it's okay. Like it's okay. And I wish that like to your point, so many more people would like talk about it. I feel like you see some
Yeah.
and it's like I would never move back to America. You see, I got a bag of fruit for 30 cents. Like
Yeah. And it's like, but if you did, it would be all right. Like,
it's okay if you wanted
no
to.
one's gonna die. Like,
No one's gonna die. Thailand will always be Thailand, and I think it's
right,
the beautiful part about life in itself is just like I can always come back. Now, like
right.
I got on the plane. And again, this was a very like abrupt decision. The fact that I got on the plane, purchased one way, and I have not been back in almost a year.
Hmm.
Now I see like you have the freedom to move as you like. It's okay.
Right. And that's a big deal in itself. That is a privilege. Like coming
That's,
here made me recognize my privilege, you know?
that's
Which
privilege.
is
That's luxury
so
there.
bad.
That's the real definition of luxury.
Yeah. I become very grateful living here because I'm like, I didn't realize I'm like, it's okay for you to live in Thailand for a little bit and then if you feel like it, go back to America and live there.
Hmm.
Nothing's wrong with that, but like it really is like I really feel blessed to even be able to make those type of decisions.
Hmm.
So if you were speaking to your younger self, like let's say 18-year-old Aaliyah, 21-year-old Aaliyah, like would you recommend her to begin this travel lifestyle earlier or would you kind of maybe continue the same path of like work, stack money first, then travel? Or would you
Hmm.
be like travel first, then figure out what you want to do and come back and work?
I want to say it's so crazy because I feel like the tongue is so powerful. I always
Hmm.
like reflect on like different eras that I've had.
Yeah.
So actually, when I was like 19 or 20, I was in undergrad, and I remember I had told my friend, because I would always go on group trips with my family, and I have like a huge family. When I say like it was a 20 of us on a plane to Dubai, like my family is
Mhm.
big.
Right.
So with that being said, you like interact with so many different personalities. And I will say, like when you're traveling with a lot of people, it can be a headache, right? It can be a headache. Love them down, but it can be a headache. And I
Right.
remember being out of town and just telling my friend, like, you know what, I think I want to begin to be like a solo traveler. Like I want to do solo traveling. And this was years
So
back.
you were tired of your family, so you were like, I want to just do this by myself.
I want to do this by myself. And then I
That's
ended up
funny.
like, I had like different opportunities where I had studied abroad. And again, like I had my own apartment, but
Mhm.
like there were students that we would have to link up to, but everything just felt better when I was alone by myself. Like I just was always like in a better space. And me and my friend, we always talk about this, the fact that like I spoke that over my life and told myself, I want to be a solo traveler. And here I am almost 8 years. Not even, again,
Yeah.
this is one of those things where like be careful what you pray for, because God might give it to you, right? And it may
Yep.
not look how you thought it would look, right? But
Mhm.
here it is, because here I am again, 8 years later, solo traveling,
Right.
living in
Definitely
Thailand.
have to speak it over your life, and maybe just be
Exactly.
quiet if you're not sure.
Yeah. So, like, for my 18-year-old self, like, I would say just continue to do what you were already doing. Like,
Mhm.
what's for you will always be for you. So,
Right. Okay, well, that's beautiful. And since moving abroad, can you see yourself living in Thailand long term? And what I mean by that is like, okay, would you live in Thailand for another year, or would you consider moving to maybe Africa, or would you like have you thought of other countries that you would consider
yeah.
living in long term?
I will say, me and my friend mentioned Ghana, moving to Ghana for like a year. Without, because I don't know if this is like confirmed or not, but I'm considering leaving Thailand, right? And
Mhm.
I really don't want to put that out there quite yet, because like most of my content moving forward would be about again traveling to Thailand. But I
Mhm.
do think like 2025 will be my last year in Thailand. Then it's like on to the next country.
That's awesome because like you can kind of get like trapped in this bubble of being like, oh, I can only make content about Thailand or like everything about me has to like your identity, like don't
Yeah.
lose your identity to your location. Like Aaliyah is more than just Aaliyah in Thailand. Like even with me, like I struggle with that because when I really started my channel, it was based in the States and it was
Hmm.
based on like traveling throughout the States. So when I moved abroad, I felt like, oh my God, like, are people not gonna accept this version of Bria who, is living in Thailand? But I'm like, you have to embrace all those versions. Like there can be another
Yeah.
version of Aaliyah who lives in another country who's doing content and sharing your journey like with other people who can be inspired by it. Because like I said, everybody don't want to move to Thailand. Everybody shouldn't because they're just gonna drive the prices up. So it's like we need to spread it out a little. I need some people to go to Mexico. I need some people to go to Africa. Like spread it out.
And I feel like people are going. Oh, I love the fact that people are just getting up and going and
Yeah.
experience these different locations. Like even if it's not for like a permanent stay, just like I think everyone should travel and get immersed into other countries and just see something outside of your norm. I think
Yeah.
chef's kiss. But I will say you said something so important, and for me, when I was starting my YouTube journey, I like there was a tug of war battle going on in my mind, because I did not. I feel like there's so much Thailand content out in the world. Like I did not want to get like stuck in feeling like, okay, if I make content, it only has to be about Thailand. But to your point, your people will follow you. So for
Mhm.
me, like even on my page, like I try to just showcase my personality and be authentically me, and hopefully people like it or love it. Um,
Like the name of your page is Life with Leah, right?
no, Miss Aaliyah Marie.
But oh, in your banner, does it say Life with Leah or am I tripping?
I don't know.
I think it says, or I might be wrong, but basically what I'm trying to say is that your page is about you. Like it's not about Thailand. So like you have to keep that identity. Like even with myself, like that's why I named my page Bria-maine. Like people don't know that's like literally my actual whole name.
Whole name, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like that's the page. Like it's just about whatever I'm doing in my life. And if you can keep that mindset of like the people who are here for you, who really support you and like who you are as a genuine person, like they will follow you no matter if you're in Thailand, no matter if you're in a ditch, no
Yeah.
matter if you're, you know,
I don't want to
top
be in
of the
a ditch
mountain
now,
somewhere, they
Bria.
will follow you. Huh?
I don't want to be in a ditch.
No, don't. Well, you could be in like a cave or a cavern. You could
Mm,
be.
maybe
You
not.
could be.
Not
I
me,
don't
but
know what your travel journey looks like. You could be, you know, on a waterfall. How about a waterfall?
I would enjoy waterfall.
Waterfall. You know,
Wait, Eugene is here. Oh, we have to. I'm sorry. I have
look
to
at you. See
stop
the
and say hi.
chat.
Yes. He said, I know these ladies' eyes. Hello.
Thanks for joining us out of your busy schedule. I know you be going live a lot too.
That's a busy man right there. And that's a great man, okay?
Yeah.
That's a good man, Savannah. Have you ever seen him?
We love Eugene. Eugene was actually the first person that I met from the tribe, actually. I
Was
was
he?
lost. Yeah, I was lost looking for them on my first day meeting up with them. I don't even remember where we are, but it was like some outdoor eating area, like, and I was lost looking around, like trying to figure out how to use my what is it, WhatsApp and my AIS because I had to pay my bill. Like, girl, I was just a hot mess.
It was just a lie.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm walking around, and then all just this beautiful man comes out of nowhere, and he's like, Briamaine, and I'm like, I don't know you. I was like, who is calling me by my name like that?
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, you're with the tribe. Come this way. So I was like, oh,
So
I'll
sweet.
never
So
forget that.
genuine. So genuine. Like,
What was your first experience with Eugene?
I feel like
Let's make this chat. Let's make this live about Eugene.
okay. My first experience, because like I love to give people their flowers, especially
Mhm.
like I don't want to wait till you're 6 feet under for me to like tell why I enjoy
Mhm.
your presence on this earth. Like I want to give you your flowers while you're here. So my first experience with Eugene was first of all, I think I was calling him Bessie before we had even met up because like we both were just like very
Talking in the
active.
chat.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
active. But then we went bowling. And when we went bowling, like we all got a little tipsy, right? And it was like intimate. It was like only like 4 or 5 of us. It was Aaliyah and the guys, right?
Mhm.
And there was some point where like somebody was bowling and I think I just yelled out like boo or like really what the hell was that? Like I was mad aggressive
You
and
were trolling.
I was trolling. And
Okay.
like he just looked at me and I looked at him and we just both started like laughing. He's like, really, dude? Like, and then I feel like at that point everyone kind of just like cut loose. And
Kind of like opened up a little bit, like
yeah. And
yeah.
then we went to Sugar.
I still have yet to go there.
Are you coming out with us tonight?
I'm considering it. I'm
Oh,
considering it. But I just
that's
know
nice.
whenever I come out with a tribe, I
This
just
is the
know.
thing.
Just put it that way. I just know. To say less.
I feel like this. Bring a purse and bring you like a personal bottle and like have you some drinks. Right.
I was like, I don't know if I have tribe money tonight.
That's what I'm
The
like.
tribe is
Honestly, you don't
the
have to
tribe is
bowl.
bougie a little bit. The
Huh?
tribe, the tribe is a little bougie.
The
Just a
thing is,
little.
I love bowling, so I will bowl, but you don't have to bowl. If I was
Mhm.
to me, I think the experience of just being around people is
Hanging out. Yeah.
and hanging out. Like, girl, go to 7-Eleven, get you some Samsung or what is it called?
Home tone.
Yeah, if that's what you prefer.
Same song. Home tone.
Get your drink that you prefer.
We'll
Put it
see.
in your bag. Get you some lemonade and like literally just chill. And when you go to Sugar, the entry for Sugar is like 300 baht or it's free depending on like if the guys decide to get a table or not. And then
Yeah, because usually we so deep, we need a whole section when we go to Sugar.
that's why the women you just get in the back of the line. This you let the men figure this one out, okay?
Right.
And then
Usually Eugene figures it out for us.
yeah,
Usually, I'm gonna just
exactly.
stick near wherever Eugene is at.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. But anyway,
Hopefully, he's not seeing this right now. But okay, I just have one more question for you. This has been an amazing interview, and it went much longer than I thought. Obviously, because I knew like once we got into like chatting, we would have like other little things to talk about because you really do have a story that a lot of people can relate to, and I'm glad that I can share you with my subscribers. Y'all make sure y'all go and support Miss Aaliyah's channel. But I'm gonna ask you this last question so I can give you back your Saturday so you can enjoy your weekend.
Mhm.
What advice do you have for people interested in this lifestyle who may relate to you, have a similar upbringing as you, have a similar background as you? What advice, what words do you want to leave with those people interested in moving abroad?
I would say there's no such thing as perfect timing. There's only divine timing, right? And I feel like divine timing only happens when you just take that leap of faith and allow God to confirm to you whether that is working for you or not. And I feel like closed
Take a
doors
risk.
just means redirection. So like if there's anything going on in your life and you feel like the doors are closing, you're like missing out on opportunities, that just means like it's not for you and it's time for you to go another path, and
Yeah.
that's okay. It's okay to allow yourself to figure things out one step at a time. Again, there is no such thing as perfect timing. There will always be something going on in your life. So if this is something that you want to do and it's been placed on your heart, there's no way to like properly plan. Like you can do all the research in the world. If it's for you, it'll be for you and it'll work itself out no matter what like comes your way. But yeah, like I said, no such thing as perfect planning, no such thing as perfect timing. Just do it and allow God to guide you through.
Well, that is amazing. Last words of advice because, like you said, like it's never gonna be perfect. Nothing's ever gonna be perfect. If you really feel called to do it, just take that leap of faith and do it. Right?
Yes. And when I speak on God, it's just like whatever God, I don't want to be like overly religious. Like it's whatever God you believe in. If it's the universe,
Mhm.
whatever it is, hell, even if you don't believe, just gamble on yourself, right? And just do what it is that you feel that you are being called to do.
Awesome. I love that. I love those last words because, you know, everybody's different. Everybody has their own story to share.
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to do these like nomad chat interviews and like kind of get more perspectives out there, different people who came here. And I just really appreciate your time with me this Saturday morning here in Thailand, sharing your experience, your story with my subscribers. And I really hope you guys go support her channel. Make sure you check out the link in the description. Miss Aaliyah, please shout out your channel again.
My channel is Miss Aaliyah Marie. That is on Instagram and YouTube as well.
Right. So go show some love. If you guys like these nomad chats, getting to know new people who are moving around, moving abroad, even, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, like the video. If you joined in our comment section today, go ahead and that's an easy, free way to support the channel. And until the next nomad chat, I want to give a big thank you and shout out to Miss Aaliyah for being
Yeah.
here.
No, thank you for having me. When I say I'm sick and I'm congested, I don't know if you can hear it in my voice or not,
You
but
sound great. You look great. If
oh,
anything,
thank
I'm
you,
like,
thank
I can't even, I need to get my life together right now.
you.
But I'm
Girl,
always
no.
honest. I'm always honest.
Girl, so I thank you for welcoming me with open arms. Again, all opportunities like for me in this season that I'm in, they just help to develop me. Like this is very new for me, so I'm just happy to be here and yeah, thank you for allowing me to be on your platform.
You are so welcome. Y'all go show her YouTube channel some love. Let's go hit the like on all her videos right now. That's the least you could do.
And subscribe.
And subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. But we need those views, y'all. Watch those videos. She has some great content about her lifestyle here in Thailand. And she's really open and authentic with it. She even cries sometimes. You caught me off guard one day. I went on there. I was like, why is she crying? Oh my
Baby, I be
God.
crying. And that's the thing. I love feelings. I
Just
love
being
emotions.
genuine. Yeah.
Mm,
I appreciate it. So I will be tuning in to some of her videos, and y'all should as well. So again, until the next
okay.
time.
Thank you. Wait. Do you think that we're Oh, this is a question for you, Bria.
The what? I'm not doing that with you, Star Wallet. Hit me up in the Discord. Send me a message. I will talk to you outside of the live stream. Catch the playback, y'all, if y'all weren't able to be here with us live. And let's get up out of here, Miss Aaliyah.
All right, bye-bye. Thank you, Bria.
Bye, guys. Ending the stream. I will see y'all in the next live.